Hello and welcome. Today I invite you to enjoy a magical, heartfelt story, The Magic Mirror. Make yourself comfortable, open your heart, and get ready for a journey of self-discovery, full of emotion and lessons that will stay with you long after the tale ends. Let's begin. The Magic Mirror. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by blue mountains and enchanted forests, there lived a young prince named Elian. He was handsome, brave, and well-versed in many things. But deep within, Elian carried a hidden weakness. He cared far too much about how others saw him. He feared being judged, afraid to seem weak, foolish, or less capable than expected. Because of this, he wore a mask of perfection. He walked proudly, spoke with practiced elegance, and never admitted mistakes, even when he knew he was wrong. One morning, while strolling through the palace gardens, he encountered the old gardener, Mistress Lyria, a kind, wise woman who had tended the royal flowers since Elian's grandfather was king. She looked at him gently and said, "Your Highness, there's something I believe you should see, but only if you're ready to face the truth." Elian raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean, Lyria?" "The magic mirror," she replied. "An ancient object that doesn't show your face, but rather what's inside your heart." The prince chuckled, uncertain. "What does that mean?" "It reveals your emotions, your fears, your truest self. Not the image you show the world, but who you really are beneath it all." Elian hesitated. What if the mirror showed him something he didn't want to see? But his curiosity was stronger than his fear. So, the very next day, with only Lyria for company, he rode through the misty hills toward the Cave of Echoes, a hidden place said to hold the magic mirror for centuries. After a long journey, they arrived. The cave was cold and silent. So silent, in fact, that Elian could hear the rhythm of his own heartbeat. At the back, resting upon a crystal pedestal, stood the mirror. Its frame was made of ancient silver, and its surface shimmered with an eerie, breathing light. "Just look into it," whispered Lyria, stepping back. Elian stepped forward and stared. What he saw took his breath away. Instead of his reflection, the mirror showed scenes, moments from his life, but seen from a different angle. He saw himself as a child, crying alone in his room while the palace servants murmured, "A prince should not cry." He saw his teenage self, mocking a young servant to gain the laughter of the nobles. He saw how he had ignored his mother's advice just to appear strong before the king. But the mirror also showed something else. He saw himself secretly helping a sick villager, sharing his bread with a beggar, comforting his little sister at night when she was afraid. The mirror revealed not only his flaws, but also his compassion, his courage, and the goodness he often tried to hide. It was as if someone had opened his soul and let him truly see what was there. Elian fell to his knees, tears welling in his eyes. I didn't know there were so many shadows in me." Lyria's voice, soft yet firm, echoed through the cave. "We all have shadows, young prince. But we all have light too. The mirror doesn't judge. It reveals. What you choose to do with what you see, that is what matters." Elian stayed in the cave for hours, watching, thinking, forgiving, and deciding to change, not for others, but for himself. Not to be seen as perfect, but to be true. When they returned to the palace, he was no longer the same. He no longer feared mistakes, because he knew they were part of growth. He listened with humility, laughed freely, and cried without shame. His people began to see not just their prince, but a true leader, one with flesh and flaws, who walked beside them, not above them. From then on, Elian visited the cave from time to time, not to punish himself, but to remind himself of who he was and who he hoped to become. Years later, when he became king, he built a small sanctuary in the heart of the palace. Inside it, he placed a mirror, crafted to look like the one in the cave. Upon its frame, he had engraved a golden inscription. True strength is not in appearing perfect, but in knowing yourself, accepting yourself, and choosing to grow each day. And that became the greatest legacy he left behind. Moral: the magic mirror teaches us that true wisdom begins with self-knowledge. Strength is not about hiding your flaws or pretending to be perfect, but in accepting who you are and striving to become better. To look honestly within is the first step toward a brave, authentic life. Thank you for listening to The Magic Mirror. I hope this story inspired you to look within yourself with more compassion and courage. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need a little magic in their day. Until the next story,